Okay. All right. So we'll get started. I know a lot of reviewers can't make it live today, so we're recording this, and hopefully it will um, give you a refresher. Everyone that will be on the review panel this cycle has done it before, so hopefully this will just be a nice refresher for you. And I guess I should remind everybody, I'm Amy Fackler, grants manager, and we have Chris Clegg and Megan Egbert joining us live today. But again, this will be recorded so you can access it later. So let's see. I just wanted to start by saying that thank you all for being part of the review team again. You've all, like I said, done it before, so it's this will be a refresher. So hopefully we won't have to struggle too much. And I was reminding Chris and Megan that my AC went out Sunday and it's hot here right now. So I hope there's one fan. I hope it's not too distracting in the other room. I just turned the other one off, but just kind of going with the flow here. So I hope I'm not too discombobulated, but I think we'll be okay. So, and I think, yeah, that's all I need to do to get started. And oh, just a reminder, I'm going to be sending out the documents. So by the time other people are watching this, you'll probably already have your documents, but Chris and Megan, I'm going to send out those materials that I to help complement this presentation, and then give you some of that background info. And all right, so we'll just get started here. I'm going to share my screen, and okay, share, and I'm going to start with this. And I hope you can all see the PowerPoint opening page. And I'll just kind of go through what we're going to cover, and that's just some general info, refresher info with criteria and process and questions, and then I'll log into Zoom Grants and give you a refresher there. And it'll be pretty high level since you've all done it before, but if Chris or Megan, you have questions, feel free to interrupt me anytime. And then if people watching this later have questions, just let me know, and we can either cover it live through a Teams meeting, or I'm happy to talk with you on the phone or email, whatever you have, whatever you need. So just some general info. I wanted to start with kind of some fresh info here. So for this cycle, we have 150,000 available. We received $135.5 thousand in requested funds. And I think it's more than last year during the middle of COVID, but I think COVID has still affected some people's ability to plan when these opened. I think that's part of the reason for the fewer requests, but also I implemented that strategy for when people receive a grant for 3 years in a row, then they take a break. And so from people I've spoken with, some people decided to take that this year. The first year that would actually be affecting anyone if they received 3 years in a row would be FY 2023. But I think some people are taking a break this year because of some delays, and it made more sense for them. So, which is great. I think part of that is allowing more people to apply, and so that was part of the strategy. So I think it will be interesting, and I hope it will give some people some opportunities that might not have otherwise. So I did want to note we still have to be judicious in awarding, but it really does give us a little more leeway in if people want to try some new things, and a little leeway for some imperfection for first-time applicants, because a third of the applicants are new, which is really great. That's I'm kind of excited about that. So I think it will be an interesting cycle. And new this year, just to get that up front too, is that And it's part of an accessibility issue that I allowed people to add short or audios or videos to the attachment section to complement their written answers in case that is an easier format for some applicants to convey their information and to articulate themselves. So it's an experiment. I know one person who did so, and maybe more. I haven't been able to look through all of the attachments yet, but so again, it's an experiment, but I hope it might be something that is helpful to some applicants, and I would love, after the process is over, to get your feedback on that option also for people. The other change this year is the budget is now in that Excel form only. That's on an attachment. There's not a separate budget section in Zoom Grants. And I did that because I felt it was Zoom Grants budget section is cumbersome, and it doesn't show all the total. It just is difficult for the applicants, especially new applicants. And so that's why I created that Excel form in the first place. And then I felt like it was getting redundant. They were putting it in two places. And so again, this is an experiment to see how well that goes, to just have that Excel form and see if that provides the information necessary and what you guys think. So we'll have a debrief on that afterwards too. This will be really high level since you've all done this before, but our program, we want to provide support for people in established and emerging cultural fields. And the big thing is to just benefit Boise residents, because Boise taxpayers are those who contribute to the operational budget, which funds our grant program. So we can't do things that other grants can do for personal benefit. I mean, there can be some overlap, of course, but the primary audience is our Boise residents and beneficiaries. And of course, we've talked about this before, that if it is at a venue and it needs to be within Boise city limits, and it usually the project usually should have a public facing component. Again, there are always exceptions. So we keep that in mind, and just that we're benefiting people within Boise city limits. And again, one of my goals is to try to train people and help them be comfortable with writing grants. And so I kind of see this as an entry point. And when I have the fewer applicants, it's really been nice to be able to help people more one-on-one. The past few cycles, I've been able to do that more. So that's been a real advantage. And I've had a focus group debrief with some of the other people that have served on the review panel. And so when we have bigger pools of applicants again, I hope to convene some help in getting to those people that might be first-time applicants or have started and then feel overwhelmed and need a little help in getting through the process. So, but I do have all of these options for people, the online training, and those, as you recall, are in the application question, what they, if they spoke with me and got a draft review and that kind of thing. So anyway, I try to make it accessible as possible, but there's always work to be done on that front, which leads me to the ongoing efforts with cultural equity, racial equity, and social justice. These changes that we've made and this outreach, it's not one big push. It's been gradual, but things like the 3 years in a row and take a break and trying to meet people more one-on-one and things like that they're ways to try to approach this and allowing this attachments for people to complement their questions through audio or video in their application. Those are all efforts towards this. And of course, we've got to keep doing more, and we'll keep doing more, but just to keep that in mind as we go through the applicants and where they're coming from, and especially again, since we have so many first-time applicants this round. And we do have the equal opportunity statement that we do not discriminate on the basis of race, religion, national origin, sex, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, and/or disability. And that's all on the information for the applicants as well. So, you know, it's always a little trick, especially I think this year, as with, again, you know, my theme of a lot of new applicants and keeping that the efforts at equity in mind and inclusion, that we do want to support people in established and emerging cultural fields. They do need to meet the criteria, but we want to balance with that, with the understanding that, you know, these aren't huge monetary requests. We want to have room for emerging culture and those historically marginalized. And I want to emphasize too, because it comes up every time, it doesn't have to be a huge audience to be, you know, have community benefits. They can be small and seen as planting seeds, or still contributing in a small way, but still important. And to keep in mind and balance with those challenges of a first-time applicant, and, you know, having been through this on our end, and kind of have it down in your head, it can still be really confusing to people who haven't done it before. So, you know, I don't want us to expect perfection, but effort and of course, understanding of what their application is, and we'll get to more of that as we go along. So it's okay to be a repeat recipient. Again, no penalty for doing so, for applying again. And in FY 2020, I started the 3 years as a recipient, not as an applicant. You could have not received a grant, and that would count as, you know, your break. So just for 3 consecutive years of receiving a grant, you take a 1-year break. And a record of many awards, though, is not a guarantee for funding. And you can consider past results during the evaluation. I didn't have any red flags. So you'll see in your Excel sheet that has the history, it really is focused on the number of years and the number of applicants that each applicant has had or not had. So I didn't really have any additional information that would affect negatively on a review. If something comes up during the application, when our review, then we can talk about it then. So your role as a grant reviewer is to closely review those applications assigned to you, which this time is 11 to 12. Last time, I think we had a really low number for round 2 of FY 2021, sorry. So there were only, you know, 5 to 6, but this time we do have more. So it's 11 to 12 that you'll be reviewing, and each application has 3 reviewers. So you'll comment, evaluate, and vote, accept or decline. And ideally, you'll be able to do that accept or decline instead of undecided, with the recognition that you are able to change your vote, your score, your comments at any time through the end of our meeting, our review meeting on the July 22nd. So if you change your mind, or that, it's no problem, you can change it at that time. So don't feel like you're locked in during this initial process. And then outside of those 11 to 12 grants, so what is it? I know I have it later too. I think it's 19 or 20 you'll be reading through and have a general sense and note anything that stands out, good or bad. You can't do that within Zoom grants because it's not assigned to you. Those grants are not assigned to you, but that Excel sheet where I'll send it out today that has the history of each applicant, I left a column to write in any comments you have, if that makes it easy to do it that for you. You can do it any system you have, but I just left that as an option so you have a place if you want to write something on those grants that aren't assigned to you. And so just a reminder about your role is a group is that you're a recommending body. So no, we won't be making any final or binding decisions. Oops, December 10th. I mean, July 22nd. Sorry, I missed that one. But we provide a voice and guidance, and we'll establish some breakpoints. And so we kind of we'll see a cutoff of where you really recommended strongly, because it'll be an order of scoring, and where that it was kind of clear that it was consensus to not fund something. And but I will note that I usually what is approved in final form is very close, if not exactly what this body recommends. So it's usually there's usually very few changes, if any. So we really value and appreciate all the time you take going through these applications. And I'll note, I'll show you again as a refresher when we get into Zoom grants, where you, the comments that you have can be accessed through public records requests if that ever happened. It hasn't happened to this point. I try really hard to give feedback in the notification process. So giving people, enough information and how they can improve, and if they want to talk to me about it. So I don't think, you never know, but hopefully that those notes aren't needed. But if I try to summarize them in their notification. But they're really easy to download if needed. So I can do that too. But I just want you to know your private notes, though, remain private. So as you're going through these, you might make little notes to yourself, and then in the potentially public facing comments, you could do those separately. So everybody's been so great so far. I'm not worried about maintaining sensitivity. You all have been so great. So, but just a reminder. So, you don't want to, crush someone's spirit, but provide more of a constructive feedback and things to note, which really are helpful. When I convey that to people, I think it's important for them to have some feedback. And I will be sending you the full form of the conflict of interest. So if there is an application assigned to you that is you feel an actual or apparent conflict of interest, you just let me know, and I will trade with someone else and make sure everybody feels comfortable. And the actual is, I'll let you read that there, but it's more clear cut. Apparent can be a little more fuzzy, and that's more when you would just have to really be honest with yourself, like, I don't know what if I'm completely objective or not. So, and we'll go again really briefly over the I'm checking my time, the criteria, which are the three main criteria in our quality, community benefit, and management. And so, but before that, those qualifying questions that we already went over, Boise city limits, benefiting residents and the venues, ADA accessible and in Boise city limits, and they comply with the equal opportunity statements. That's all in the application, question number 1. And then this is kind of where you can analyze where how much interaction they had with me, and did they talk with me about it? Did they watch the info workshop? And did they request a draft review? That information is all captured in question number 2 as well. So quality is the 30% of the score, and it's that clear explanation of the historic and cultural components of the project. But again, balancing with some leeway if it is new, experimental, and keeping in mind the background and experience and education. There are differences about accessibility to resources, and we want to make sure we consider non-traditional means of acquiring experience and education are valid, and that there's different ways to assess quality, and so we want to keep an open mind about that. And so you could look at those work samples, and I tried to emphasize in the training to really, really make a good effort to attach a lot of work samples. So hopefully you will see that. And again, the quality can be potential, my planting seeds thought is that, it can be new and innovative, and maybe not a huge audience right now, but it's adding to our cultural infrastructure and giving people a voice that may not have had one to date, to the extent that we could really build our local culture. And community benefit is 40% of the score. So again, overlaps kind of with the quality is it doesn't need to be a huge audience. It's okay if it's doing the planting seeds, but they do talk about their target audience, and hopefully the participants are clearly described. Okay if it's small. And I emphasized again in the training that the affordability is a key component in community benefit. So those having an accessible economic ticket price, that where cost isn't a barrier, at least some availability there is important. So keep that in mind. And the bottom line, again, it's a community-minded application, wanting to bring people together, expand perspectives, and build positive relationships. So we have a positive and welcoming Boise culture here, and that we are including many voices and perspectives. And then management is 30% of the score. And let's see, want to make sure it's clear who's responsible and where the buck stops, and that they are going to manage the project effectively. And you can see that in their attachments, their bios, and how they answer the questions and work through the application, and that they have a clear project scope, talk about what they will do, and have as many specifics as they can, knowing that some of them are so far in advance, it's, they may not have everything all tied up, but they have a plan that you might see through their timeline and milestones question, that, they have a plan about how to solidify some of the components. So we want to have a solid budget, and total project expenses equals total project income. On that Excel sheet, you'll see I have a lot of that they have to fill out for their budget. I have a lot of instructions all there, and it's color coded, so it has to be green above and below, and I'll show you when we get to Zoom Grants, that it should be pretty clear to them, I hope. So we'll see. And the requested amount is reasonable for the scope. and it doesn't exceed 50% of total project expenses. I want to note that I did encourage a lot, since we had so many first-time applicants and we had 150,000 available, that we do have, I did encourage a lot of people to ask for the full amount, because we can always go lower in this kind of a unique circumstance, but because first-time applicants, I usually recommend up to 3,000. Since we have the funding and there seemed to me to be a real need, I was encouraging people to ask for that full amount. So just a note for that, and see how that goes in our evaluations too. And again, the outcomes of past grant funded projects, I don't have any red flags there, but and you may consider whether they attended the workshop, sought feedback from me, and when you're thinking about that management component. The attachments, I'll show you in Zoom Grants. Again, that budget is new, Excel sheet. The rest is pretty much the same, except for the video, this one on the bottom, video and audio attachments. That's new this year. Again, I am only sure of one person who added that, but we'll see if others did as we go through the applications. All right, so I'm hoping that by the end of July 20th, I know our review is the 22nd, but I need a day to organize everything. So I'm hoping by the end of the day, Tuesday, July 20th, you will be able to have scored each criterion. And remember, you can change them at any time, write comments online, which again, you can change anytime, and select approve or decline. If you can avoid the undecided, that would make things easier, but sometimes that is appropriate, so it's okay. But as much as you can, please do approve or decline, and you can always, again, you can always change it until the end of our meeting on the 22nd. Oh, I think my math is wrong there. It's either 18 or 19 or 19 or 20 of applications not assigned to you. Those are that general review. Remember to read through them and be familiar with it at a high level, and you can write your own notes. This is just a reminder from before. And you can use that Excel document if that's helpful. And you just want to have a general opinion and note any red flags for you, or green flags, components that stand out. So by the end of our July 22nd meeting, we want to have final scores of all the assigned applications, final comments, and your final votes for approve or decline, and we'll have them ranked from highest score to lowest. And then after that, after we meet virtually on July 22nd, I talk with our director. We make final recommendations, which are usually exactly what came out of the review. We present to the commission, our Arts and History Commission, on August 4th, and we send to mayor and council a couple days after that, and then they typically have 2 weeks to respond if there's any concerns or notices of any kind. After that, we consider it final, and we will notify applicants between August 24th and September 2nd, and we'll send a press release tentatively. I believe it will be the week of September 13th. So if any inside knowledge you have before we send out the press release, just ask to please keep that private, so we don't get anybody excited too early. So just a few final tips. You just refer to that criteria, ask me questions anytime, keep the context in mind. Again, we have fewer applicants and 1/3 of them are new, which I think is, again, I think it's exciting. And pace yourself, schedule out some time, and it's a good idea to have some time to reread through some of your applications. And I always say this because it's so true with me. recognize your pattern. You often either judge easier or harder at the beginning, or vice versa at the end. And mine changes. Like sometimes I'm harder at the beginning, and sometimes I'm more critical at the end. It's like so just kind of remind yourself to go back and make sure you're kind of staying on course for you and consistent. And we want to remain cognizant of the context. We're a public agency. We have inexperienced first-time applicants, relatively low funding amounts, but they do need to illustrate effort in aligning with our criteria. Success can mean different things but we ultimately want to just, again, make and build a reinforced, strong and equitable cultural foundation in Boise. And we want to benefit Boise residents. We do want to have confidence with the applicant's proposal and ability to follow through. Again, even if gains are more the planting seeds with potential for the future. So there's lots of things to think about, and each cycle is unique. I mean, it's different different people applying, and it's different dynamics. So part of that is just kind of seeing how it all gets hammered out, but just the balancing act. All right, so now I'm gonna go to Zoom grants as a refresher. And I do have to, as soon as I'm done with this, I do have to finish up the scoring. It won't take me too long, but I do have to finish one thing inside Zoom grants from the admin end. So I'll show you that when we get there. Will be a little incomplete thing. So I'm going to stop sharing. And hello, and then let's see. Oh, good question, Chris. Will the money not be spent be able to go into next year's budget? That is a great question, and I'm not. We'll work with the commission and director on what the plan will be. We will. My personal assurance is that I want to get it into the cultural community, whatever that looks like. I doubt we'd have enough to do a complete another cycle, but we might do a mini cycle, or we might have some special projects that come up to disperse that money to get into those in the field. So that's my big goal, is we'll just make sure it gets into those in our cultural sector. It's a little difficult to roll over funding to the next year, but that could be an option. I just need to figure out with our powers that be how that might work out. But yeah, great question. I meant to address that earlier.
And then I had one other one,
Sure.
Just a quick one. Can we get a list of who is taking a break this year? Versus if they just didn't apply. I'd be curious to see.
Well, I don't really know exactly.
Okay.
I know I've just heard a couple people have told me, yeah, I think this is the year we're going to take a break. So I'm assuming that's the case with a number of applicants, but I'm not 100% sure. So okay. I do have a list. I could send a list showing I've tracked since 2020, who's applied, and I could share that once I add these applicants on there. So or who's received it. I don't think it's, anyway, I'll check that out and get back to you on that. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
cool.
Great question.
Thanks.
All right. So share my screen. Hold on a second. Where did it go? Sorry, hold on. I think this is it, but I want to move it. Okay, let's go to slideshow. Oh wait, sorry, end slideshow. Okay, I'm gonna close that. I'm going to, sorry, I thought I had Zoom grants up. Okay. Well, let me get it up here. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's see. Share. All right. Are you seeing the Zoom Grants login sheet? Okay. All right. Let me just log in here really quickly. I would have logged in earlier, but it times out, so which is good, but it. And I hope that we don't have the slowness that we did the last.
I
I think it
remember
was
that.
both rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had so, and I know that they have a lot of applicants again for federal funding for various programs, but I think they've got it figured out. So fingers crossed. All right, so I log into Zoom Grants with your username and password, and it should be the same as last year. If you, I mean, it is the same as last year, but if you forgot it or can't get in, if you use your email, and then you can reset it. So, but if you have any problems, let me know. But I can't reset it for you, but I can help you through the process. All right, so I'm gonna go to the FY22 and applications, and this is my test user. So you'll see these are all the applicants. Oops, these are all the applicants, and you'll see the one that I assigned for this test case has this A behind, A for assigned. So that's the one that is assigned to me. So that's what you'd click on, and then you can see the application questions. Here, I'll put this one here maybe so that you can see that. You can see the application questions, and I won't go through them all in the interest of time, but if you have questions on any of these later, please, you're feel free to talk to me about them and what you think may be related to certain criteria, and there's a lot of overlap. So, but I can help you through that if you need to. So this is a test application too, so it's kind of goofy, but I just wanted to remind you about all those questions. I will, and these are those top two are about the, do they apply, comply with the equal opportunity statement and ADA accessibility and city limits, and then number two again is how much background work they did in terms of draft review, watched the training, and talked with me. So I don't really want to go too much into that unless, Chris, you have any questions on that? Okay. And this shows their attachments, the budget. Let me see if I could show you that right now. I may have to open a new screen. Oops. Do you see an Excel sheet, Chris? No.
Not yet.
Okay, I probably need to stop sharing and share. Okay, I'll go back to that then. Okay.
Something did just pop up and then went away.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll show you that Excel sheet in a minute, but again, these are all the attachments you can go through. This is required now. It used to be optional. It's that same Excel sheet, but it does have a lot of directions on it. So I hope it was easy for people to understand. The rest you've had before, the bios and resumes that correlate with questions, I believe 5 and 6 in the application, work samples, letter of support, and then these are optional, the staff and volunteer list and the filmed video editions that is new this year. So then I'm going to show you when you have an application like this that is assigned to me, you can go to the review tools. If you have an application that is not assigned to you that you're just going to read through, you won't be able to see review tools. You'll just have to go through these tabs to read through the application. But if it is assigned to you, you can go straight to review tools if you like, and you'll see some basic info here. You have private notes, and you see all the application questions right here. So you can write your notes here and write. So I think, sorry, I apologize. I think because I didn't do that finalize the scoring thing yet, you'll have another section up here that shows comments by criterion. I apologize, I don't have that up right now, but so it'll be above your private notes here. I should show you, let's see here. Anyway, you can go through the applications here, and it's kind of nice to have it all on the same screen because you can just type your notes in as you're reading. Again, because the budget section isn't through the Zoom grants separate tab this year, you will have to download the budget separately. So that's a little more work on your end this time, but I just wanted to try it with the that Zoom grants budget I think made it really confusing to applicants. So that's why I tried that.
And I have a quick question. So with the
Yes.
budgets, if you're not assigned that applicant, are you still able to access it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you just right, it just doesn't, you don't have this ability to have them all on the split screen and write your notes. You won't be able to write any notes for yourself.
Okay.
I did want to, let's see, let me go back to the application and see. Oops, sorry. So let's see, I'll try to go to one that's not assigned to me. So see, I can see through all that too. And this is what I wanted to show you. For all the applications, those assigned to you and not, you should be able to see, I'll write some general notes, but I won't score. But if there's just something overall, for example, when I've talked to some of the first time applicants, I might write a few notes on that, and anything I've noticed that you can disagree with, you can it's just kind of to have some gauge of, from my perspective, but it's not, you are free to have your own opinion. And so I just wanted to note that that's there if you want to refer to it at all. And then I'll go back to the one assigned to me. Yeah, you'll just scroll down on that main page, application summary, and you'll see my internal notes. Let's see, what else? I think attachments, I've gone through all of those. You'll notice in a few, and I will, I uploaded some documents. Some people that I was working one-on-one with, I needed to upload some things for them after the deadline without reopening the whole application. So you'll see there's some people may have some documents down here. So just keep your eye out for that. And I'll try to, when I go through all the applications, I'll try to remind people that for those who it's assigned that to look for those. I think that is really all I have right now. Chris, do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Oh, I know. I was going to show you the stop sharing. I'm going to show you that budget sheet.
I'm excited about that and to look at the videos. Those are great
Yeah.
additions.
Yeah, I hope. Thank you. I hope, again, it's an experiment, and so I don't know how easy or difficult it is to do that, but we'll see. Okay, here's the so let me see if I can make it a little smaller. So here's the sheet they fill out. I know it's small. I'll make it big again in a second. Oops. But there's all these directions in this column G. I have a lot of autofill and then auto coloring that shows you when it balances. See, when it's green, they balance. Your total project expenses is calculated, and the total in-kind volunteer autofills in this form, which is nice. I think I couldn't do that in Zoom grants. So I feel like, I hope it's simpler for people. We'll see, but sorry.
It looks great.
I hope. So anyway, I'll be eager for feedback, good and bad, on this. So you guys be sure to let me know what you think afterwards. So yeah, so that's that. I'll show you one last thing, is that other Excel sheet that I'll be sending today. Oops, why isn't it doing it? Oh, there we go. Where you can write notes on those not assigned to you, the evaluation notes. So I'll send this. This is just showing the applicants and the history. And then if for those not assigned to you, or even for those, either way, but this might be a sheet where you can write some quick notes without, keeping things in one place. But again, it's not required. If you have your own system, that's fine too. So you'll be getting that form.
Perfect.
And I think that is it. So Chris, thanks for being my pal here today.
Thanks for doing this.
I appreciate it. And then for anyone watching this later, again, be sure to ask me questions, and happy to work through you with anything, and hopefully it'll be smooth. And again, I appreciate so much everybody's help with this. You guys are great, and I'm really looking forward to our meeting on the 22nd, and hopefully you can get it completed by the 20th. If there's any issues with that, let me know so I can try to plan accordingly. But otherwise, I think we're good to go. So, and we're finished under an hour, so that's good.
Perfect.
Kind of zip, zip, zip. But I think since we've all done it before, you've all been so great. I think I wanted to keep it higher level. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks to everyone. And we will see you soon, and talk to me anytime. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.